friends, Jenny D here, and I find that I have been getting a lot of the same questions when it comes to my Jester cosplay, so I thought I would just try and answer all of them in one video. If you have further questions that are not addressed here, feel free to put them in the comments and I will do my best to get to them. So who is Jester? Jester is a D&D character created by and played by Laura Bailey on the web series Critical Role. If you want to learn more about Critical Role, I have a whole video about that which I will link in the cards. Did you make the costume? Yes, I made my own Jester costume. Some of the pieces were thrifted and modified or purchased online, like the boots or the elf ears, but in general, most of the garments were made by me. How long did it take to make? Just under 2 months. How did you make the skirt, / blouse, / corset, / cape, etc.? Can you share patterns? I get so many questions like this, and I am really eager to teach you guys more about how I made this costume. I have already shared a work in progress thread on Twitter and on Facebook that have some basic details about how I put stuff together, but I am working on some more in-depth tutorials on how I made each of the pieces of the costume. However, those take quite a while to make, so please be patient and I will share them as soon as I can. Where did you get your horns, / teeth, / contacts, / ears? My horns are just some foam costume ram horns off of Amazon. I will put the link in the description. They're super cheap. All I did was trim some kind of messy seams and spray paint them and then add all of the little jewelry and details. The fangs that I use are the Scarecrow Small Sexy Fangs. This brand is really popular and for good reason. They're very, very easy to use. They mold at home to your teeth, so they're really easy to wear. These are also available on Amazon, so I will put the link to those in the description as well. My ears are from Madhouse Effects. They have an Etsy store. I will link to them in the description as well. I absolutely love their ears. I use them for all of my different elfy things. They didn't come blue. I painted them myself with the face paint that I use on my own skin. As for contacts, I am not super comfortable recommending or sharing contact brands to people. Your eyes are fragile and it is very easy to hurt them, and I would recommend that if you want to use colored contacts for cosplay, that you talk to an eye doctor about it and order them through a reputable source. I also get a lot of horn-specific questions, like how are they attached? How did you do the jewelry? Are they heavy? Here are my horns. They're not heavy at all. They're made out of foam. They're super lightweight. I can barely feel them on my head. My horns are attached with these little alligator clips. All that I do when I'm putting them on is I just open up both clips like this, and then I stab them down into the wefts of my wig. They clip onto the wig, and they just kind of chill there. They can be secured a little bit more with bobby pins. The horn tips are just craft foam. I just shaped them out of craft foam, hot glued them together, spray painted them silver, and then glued them onto the end of the horns. As for jewelry, the way that I always do cosplay jewelry is I just go to a thrift store and I look for jewelry that seems kind of similar, and then I take it home and I take it apart with needle nose pliers and stick it back together and spray paint it. How do you eat / drink / talk / sing with the fangs in? It's not actually that hard. It does give you a little bit of a lisp, something that you get used to more as you wear them. After wearing them for an hour, I lisp a lot less. I can drink with them in if I use a straw, but I can't actually eat with them in because I can't close my teeth fully, which is no problem because they are really quick and easy to take out and put back in. As for singing with them in, that isn't really a problem because I don't wear the fangs when I record my songs in studio. I only wear them while I film the videos. What makeup do you use? So I have a full video about my Jester makeup, everything from the face paint to the contour palette to the lipstick that I use. I will link it in the cards in case you want to check it out. How long does it take to do the makeup and get into costume? It depends a little on how much urgency there is around it. I have done the makeup in an hour and I have done the makeup in 2 hours. It generally takes me around an hour and a half to get into full makeup and then another 20 to 30 minutes to put on the whole costume. How do you keep from getting blue makeup on the clothes? I mean, I don't. There is blue makeup on a bunch of different pieces of this costume, but it is water activated makeup, so it comes right off with water. It's super easy to wash out. I do use a makeup sealant, so the clothing really has to rub against my body in order to turn blue. And on top of that, I don't use paint on my arms and on my legs. I use tights and sleeves and gloves, so the only makeup that's really at risk of rubbing off anywhere is on my face and my chest. Is the costume comfortable? Yes and no. I have certainly worn less comfortable costumes. I think my biggest complaint about it is just that it's pretty hot, especially with the capelet. Between the leggings and the arm sleeves and the gloves and all of the layers, almost every part of my body is covered, and the cape is really sort of the cherry on top of just having no airflow. A lot of people assume that the makeup is uncomfortable, and I gotta say, it isn't really that much more uncomfortable than wearing a full face of foundation. Has Laura Bailey said anything about your costume? She has. I am super lucky. She has responded to my cosplays and my videos a few times, and it's just pretty great. What's your favorite part of the costume? For me, I don't tend to make a lot of props, but I really enjoy making them, so I actually am really proud of how my Traveler Holy symbol came out, and it was also really fun to make. How did you learn the voice? I just recently made a little video about how to do Jester's voice, and I'll put it in the cards in case you're interested. I'm not like super good at accents or anything, but I've always been a pretty good mimic, so I started by just repeating whatever Laura said, and eventually I got comfortable enough with it that I can kind of talk in it whenever I feel like it. I practiced the voice on and off for about 1 or 2 weeks before I filmed my first video, just like while I was in the car by myself and stuff like that. Why did you pick Jester? I don't know if I have a particularly exciting answer for this. I just love her. Like, from the very minute that I started watching Campaign 2, she was my favorite character. And every character is great. I just have a special kind of love for Jester. I just love her. I think she's great. Any plans to cosplay any other Critical Role characters? I mean, probably, but I try not to plan too far ahead. If I overplan cosplays, then I feel obligated to do them, and then it's a lot harder for me to work on them. So in general, I just have an idea and I feel excited about it and I make that costume. So who knows? Do you ever start feeling like you are Jester or get lost in the character? This is a question that I've gotten more often than I thought I would. I think it comes from a place of just like really wanting Jester to be real, and I am sorry to deliver the bad news, but like, I've been Ginny for literal decades, so no, I don't ever just like forget that I'm Ginny and become Jester. Jester is a fictional character. I like playing her, and I love wearing the costume, and I love doing the accent, but like, I'm not Jester, I'm me, I'm a human person. Do you ever use the accent outside of cosplay? Yes. Definitely. I am just sort of a goof and a ham, and I use all kinds of ridiculous accents in my day-to-day life to just emphasize things and make jokes and be weird, so now the Jester accent has just been added to my repertoire of randomly used accents. Do you ever put on Jester just for funsies? Man, I gotta tell you, like, I have never been the kind of cosplayer that just gets dressed up to hang out in a costume. I have always cosplayed with a purpose. It takes 2+ hours to put that on, and it takes money worth of makeup, and it's not as comfortable as wearing jeans, so... Do you ever wear Jester to conventions? Yes, I debuted Jester at a convention. My first time wearing Jester was at Dragon Con last year. I have not worn her to any convention since, but that's because I haven't really been to that many. So in this coming year, I am planning on wearing her to at least 3 conventions this year. And that is El Paso Comic-Con, where I am a cosplay guest, Emerald City Comic-Con, which I am going to as an attendee, and Denver Pop Culture Con, where I am a cosplay guest. I will put some information about those cons into the description in case you want to see me there. What's your best Jester con experience? So as I mentioned, I have only worn her to 1 con yet, and I managed to miss the Critter meetup because I did not realize how long it was going to take me to put on the whole costume. It was my first time putting all of it on. But I did end up running into 2 other Jester cosplayers while I was doing a photo shoot, and we took a photo invoking duplicity, and it was just really cool. I always love seeing people in the same costume as me because we have this like instant kinship over loving the same thing. But with Jester, it's even more exciting because there's a canon reason for there to be more than one Jester in one space. So that's it. That's most of the Jester questions that I get regularly. If you have a question about Jester that I did not answer, please feel free to throw it into the comments and I will do my best to get to it and give you an answer. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. As always, I have a million more Jester things on the way, as well as other non-Jester related things, and I hope that you're gonna like all of them.